Hi, Andrew here, and I guess that election prediction I made stood up pretty well. I haven't posted it yet, and here we are a week after the election, but I've got everything time-stamped, and I'll put a little intro on it. Well, I guess by the time you see this, I put a little intro on it saying, I said this a week before the election. Guess it stood up pretty well. I said that fat fascist bastard was the luckiest SOB in Canadian politics. He doesn't have a strong contingent from the right like the one that chucked Jason Kenney in Alberta. He's facing an opposition that is either stale in Andrea the Commie or completely insane in Il Duce del Duca. Two people who committed to a policy of the only problem with his COVID response was that it wasn't hard enough, fast enough, deep enough, that he didn't bring the fascism down properly. That if they would done it, they'd have really gone for it. They'd have really bent us over and done us dry. Plus, he was facing a Liberal Party that is presumably the next in line. The one opportunity to govern that the NDP got in Ontario was such an utter, total, complete fucking cock-up on the part of Bobo the Clown Ray. Even 30 years later, I don't think the province is ready to turn over the voters of the province are ready to turn over the keys to Queen's Park to the commie NDP. So that leaves the Liberals, but you don't go, and I said that I'm pretty sure, you don't go from 7 or 8 seats or whatever they've got to governing in one election cycle. Generally speaking, your leader doesn't lose his own riding. Good going, Del Duca, you incompetent fuck. You couldn't win your own riding? Well, I guess how could you not have won running on your sterling record as a member of the most incompetent and most corrupt government that this province has ever seen? How did that not work? How did it not work that you were running on more COVID restrictions, more segregation of society? Oh, 2 shots? No, that's not vaccinated. Let's make it 3 and bring back the passports to go to the grocery store. Why didn't that work, Del Duca? I sat here last week thinking about the election. It was on Thursday, and it is Thursday, and I thought, well, I guess I could make a final predictions thing, a final comments thing. I didn't even fucking vote. Who was I going to vote for? The fascist, the other really fascist, or the fucking commie? Who was I going to vote for? Every one of them either has acted in such a way as to screw with my life and my children's lives, or they promised to do so, and promised to do more. And do I believe the fat fuck of Queen's Park that he's learned his lesson? No, I don't. He's a Toronto politician, and I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth, not even if, and, or the. So, for the first time in a very long time, I threw up my hands and said, I could go vote. I have in my local constituency, I have somebody that the fat bastard threw out of the party because they actually believed in their principles, not in selling out their principles to do what Doug Ford and blackface Hitler wanted. I could have voted for her. I couldn't be bothered. What's the point? I knew the bastard was going to get in, and I was just pissing against the wind. So I took my kids to their piano lesson and lived my life, went on with my life, and showed up and went through the motions, as I mentioned in another video. But this is an unusual situation because Ford is a deeply unpopular premier. He's unpopular from the left, he's unpopular from the right. Nobody likes the guy. And he expanded his majority. And that's a frightening thing because there wasn't a protest from his right that did anything to damage him. The disarray and stupidity of the opposition to his left did nothing to dissuade him. He's been handed an even bigger mandate, and he can do whatever the hell he wants. Theresa Tam is already making noises about monkeypox. Don't have unprotected sex with a gay man. You won't get it. But she's talking about monkeypox restrictions. COVID was a dress rehearsal. All the damage, all of the crap the last 2.5 years. The federal Liberals, they see it as a dress rehearsal. And they see blackface squeaking into his minority and putting Singh up against the wall and browbeating him into a coalition. They see this as a mandate to do whatever the hell they want. And they've got the power. They've got 3 years to do it. We are so screwed. But my prediction of Doug Ford as the luckiest he should... No, enough. I figured he'd get reelected. I figured he'd get reelected based on the patterns, stale opposition, terrible opposition, disorganized opposition. He wasn't reelected for anything he's done. He was reelected for the hope that he learned a lesson and he won't do it again, and his opposition is in disarray. Yay. There's a mandate. Take it for what it is. Thank you very much for watching. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, drop a comment. Share it if you think it was worth it. Not with your kids. I got maybe a little blue in the language. But that was my time. Now it's your time. And in the meantime, take care, hope and pray, and you'll see me soon.